Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 are correct, and then make predictions for next week's top 5. So let's get right on into it. Last week I predicted that number 1 would be Finding Dory again, number 2 would be Independence Day Resurgence, number 3 would be The Shallows, number 4 would be Central Intelligence, and number 5 would be Free State of Jones. And I only got 3 out of 5 of my predictions right this week. So close, yet so far. Let's go over what happened. Number 1 was, of course, Finding Dory, once again making $73 million, and that adds to a grand total of $286 million. That is freaking awesome. Daily, it kept up with the numbers, which leads to this $286 million overall gross. That is amazing. Last week, it was only $130 million, somewhat. I forget the actual number of it, but it was 130 something, and now it's over 200. It's almost at 300 million already. That is freaking amazing. Like, how big is this movie actually going to be? We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be freaking awesome to find out. Anyways, number 2 was Independence Day Resurgence, a movie that's unfortunately not going to be doing that well. It made $41 million this weekend, and you might be thinking, well, the first Independence Day movie only got $50 million on its opening weekend and went on to gross over $300 million domestically, and who knows what worldwide. That's pretty good, right? No, Independence Day Resurgence is on a budget of $165 million, so that $41 million opening, it's not going to do that well at all. Really, which is no surprise because the reviews weren't that good for the movie either. A lot of people are hating on this movie. I thought it was alright, but then again, it is pretty stupid. It's my guilty pleasure of the year. I wish more people saw it. And you know what this means? We might not be able to get that Independence Day 3 that they've set up so lazily at the end of Resurgence, which, that kinda sucks. Oh well, moving on to number 3, Central Intelligence. This weekend it made $18 million, and that adds to a total of $69 million. It crossed the budget line of $50 million, $19 million over that, which is very good for this movie. And I have something to mention. Dwayne Johnson tweeted that they're coming up with storylines for Central Intelligence 2. I think it was a joke, though, because not only was that phrase followed up with a joke, but he was just responding to a random person. Plus, no studio has come out and said it yet, or news headline or anything. It's just him tweeting. But if this movie does get a sequel, that's not really necessary, honestly. I don't think we need a Central Intelligence 2. Fun movie, decent time, but we don't need a sequel to this movie. No, thank you. Anyways, number 4 was The Shallows. This weekend it made $16 million, and it's only $1 million away from its budget of $17 million, so that's actually pretty good for this movie. I'm actually going to be seeing this movie in about 2 hours, actually, so I'll be able to get a review out for it, like, tomorrow or something. Isn't that swell, guys? I'll be able to talk about a movie. That's amazing. I never do that. Anyways, number 5 is Free State of Jones. This weekend it made $7,772,000. Not a very good opening for a Matthew McConaughey motion picture, especially since the budget is $50 million. But I've also heard that the budget is $65, so it's either $65 or $50. Either way, this movie's still not doing good. An opening of $7 million, that's not very good, especially for something that looked as good as this movie did. The trailers look pretty good for this movie. However, I heard from Chris Stuckman that he pretty much described this movie as cinematic NyQuil. So that's not very good. Anyways, number 6 was The Conjuring 2, making $7,705,000, and that adds to a total of $86 million, which is very good for this film. It's $14 million away from getting over $100 million domestically, which I'm pretty sure it'll be able to get there, right? I think so. Maybe, possibly, hopefully, I think. Why not, I guess? I don't know, I still haven't seen it. I still really want to. It's kind of hard to see it at the moment because it's rated R, and I need a parent to see a rated R movie because I'm not over 17, and my parents haven't seen the first Conjuring movie, and they're not really interested in seeing The Conjuring 2. Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, number 7 was Now You See Me 2, making $5 million this weekend, and that adds to a total of $52 million. It's getting so close, but it's sadly $38 million away from its $90 million budget. Worldwide, it's alright, but, you know, I think this is a pretty big disappointment considering how the first one actually did pretty good domestically. This one's not doing that well, and they're thinking about doing a third one, or they're in development of a third one. Good luck with that. Number 8 was X-Men Apocalypse. This weekend it made $2,475,000, and that adds to a total of $151 million. It's only $27 million away from its $178 million budget. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll be able to get there. It'll close out like around $160 million, I guess, because it's already at the number 8 spot. It's already gone. It's almost already gone, so oh well. You had a good run worldwide. You had a terrific run. It's just domestically you probably could have done a lot better than you did. But still, pretty good movie. You shouldn't be ashamed of that. You still delivered a pretty good movie. Number 9 was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, facing some pretty bad box office as well. This weekend it made $2,400,000, and that adds to a total of only $77 million. It's $58 million away from its $135 million budget domestically. This is also a pretty bad disappointment considering the first movie opened with $60 million domestically, and now the second one opened up with half that number on its opening weekend and only just now got to the $70 million number. Which that's kind of sad, but the first movie came out in August, a week after Guardians of the Galaxy. August, when nothing else is out, and this movie opened up in the middle of the summer, like when X-Men and Civil War were still kicking. So as sad as these results are for a guy like me who actually found some enjoyment with this movie, it's not perfect, just there's some enjoyments with it. It's kind of hard to deny that they kind of made a stupid choice by putting it in June. I think they should have put it in August, but that's just me. And finally, closing it out, hopefully I never have to talk about this movie again because I freaking hate it. Number 10, Alice Through the Looking Glass, making $2,147,000, and that adds to a total of $74 million. Hey, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, at least you made more money than Alice Through the Looking Glass. Ha ha! And now it's time for the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. Now I'm going to say that number 1 will be the BFG. Not only is it a Disney movie, but it's a Steven Spielberg movie, and it's also a Roald Dahl adaptation of his book. So that should probably make a lot of monies, maybe, probably, hopefully. Then I'm going to say number 2 is The Legend of Tarzan. I think it'll actually be able to beat out Dory. I think Tarzan is a pretty cool character that people like, or maybe they don't like him. We'll find out next week. Then I'm going to say Finding Dory is number 3. Then I'm going to say number 4 will be The Purge Election Year. And then I'm going to say number 5 is Independence Day Resurgence. That's right. I think The Purge will be able to beat out an Independence Day sequel. I never thought I'd be able to say that ever. But what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave them in the comments below. And if you got your predictions right for this week, you're going to get a shout out right now. Unless you didn't get it right then. Whoops. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.